Hi everyone, welcome back to our maths classes. And today's topic, as you can see, is graphing quadratic functions. Remember, quadratic functions and graphs are the fundamental concept in the maths and science, and that have numerous real-world applications. And they allows us to model and analyze complex systems, solving problems, and make prediction about the future. So this is one of the very important topic in functions. So let's get started. So here's a question. What is the quadratic function? So here's the equation is given y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. You have seen these equations so many times. Okay. Now you need to understand what exactly it is. First, what this x square says? X square is a quadratic terms here. X is a linear term and the c is a constant term. So if you remember these, whenever the question is going to ask you, like means, okay, for example, what is the linear term of the y is equal to 4x square minus 3? That's going to be your 0. Okay, 0x. Similarly, if you're going to say, what is the linear terms of the y is equal to x square minus 5x? The answer will be minus 5x. Okay, and what is the constant term of y is equal to x square minus 5x? It's going to be a 0. But the question says, can the quadratic term be a 0? The answer is no. All right. Okay, the graph of the quadratic function is also known as parabola. Okay, and when parabola is opening up, it means it's a positive parabola. If the parabola is opening downwards or down, it is called as negative parabola. Now here, if the parabola opens up, the lowest point of the vertices and the highest point of the vertices are these. Okay, so these are the points which you need to remember when you're working with the quadratic functions. So if you understand the standard form, the quadratic function here, let's take this example, a square plus bx plus c. So it's a quadratic equation. Now, in that case, I need to understand what value it's going to be here. And on the basis of the a's value, the entire parabola changes. So for example, if the a's values are in positive, it means if a is greater than 0, my parabola will always open upward. But if the a is in negative, it means parabola will always open downwards, which means a is not equals to 0. No matter what it is, a can't be a 0. Now let's understand the axis of symmetry here in parabolas, what exactly it is. So if we drew a line down the middle of the parabola, we could fold the parabola in half. We can call it as an axis of symmetry. All right. Now, if we graph one side of the parabola, we could always reflect the other side of the parabola over the axis of the symmetry to graph the other side. Okay, and that will always be on your lowest or passes through the vertices, or you can say the passes to the lowest point of the graph. Let's understand axis of symmetry with this example. So when the quadratic function is in the standard form of giving that ax square plus bx plus c, the equation of the axis of symmetry is x is equal to minus b by 2a. Always remember that. This is the formula to find the axis of symmetry. Now the best read is the opposite of b divided by the quantity of 2 times a, which is the first value of your quadratic equation. To find the axis of the symmetry, for example, if the equation is given as 3x squared minus 18x plus 7, it is going to be a is 3, b is minus 18. So I'm going to divide it by the values given, substitute the values as per the formula and get the answer for my x. So x is equal to 3. So my line of symmetry or axis of symmetry will be on the x is equal to 3. And that's how I'm going to find the answer for my axis of symmetry. Now let's understand what is vertex. So here's the fill in the blanks for you. The axis of symmetry always goes through the vertex. Thus, the axis of symmetry gives us the x coordinate of the vertex. Okay, so you have to remember that. So for example, you have been given the value as minus 2x squared plus 8x minus 3. So my a's value is minus 2, my b's value is 8, and my c's value is minus 3. Now, there are some steps which you need to follow. The first one is to find the axis of symmetry. So in that case, my x is equal to minus b divided by 2a. For example, so I'll start substituting my values as per the equation given and get the answer, which is x is equal to 2. Now the x coordinate of the vertex here is 2, where the graph is going to change the shape or going to as the lowest point of the graph. Here's another example to find the vertex. So I got that. Substitute the x values into the original equation, okay, to find the y coordinate of the vertex. And then the y vertex is going to be 2 and 5. Okay, this is how I'm going to find the answer. So graphing a quadratic function has 3 major steps, okay? First, find the axis of symmetry using this formula. Second, find the vertex, okay? And the third one is find 2 other points that reflect them across the axis of symmetry. Then connect the 5 points with a smooth curve, okay? Remember, if your curve is not smooth, that is not considered as a proper graph. It will not be a great graph and you won't get the marks. So make the table using, hope you remember y is equal to mx plus c, and that's how you can always find your x values to find the axis of symmetry in your graph. Now, here is an example. Let's understand more about it. By y is equal to 2x squared minus 4x minus 1 is given to us. So first I'm going to find the axis of the symmetry, which is my 1. So it means x is equal to 1. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find the vertex. So for that, I will start substituting the values in the equation. And then the equation will give me minus 3, which means my vertex is 1 minus 3. Okay, and this is how I'll find my value. Now, again, the third step over here will be, as you can draw a smooth graph, now find 2 other points, reflect them across the axis symmetry, and then connect the 5 points with the smooth curve. And here you're going to use y is equal to mx plus c to find the values of the x. And after finding the value of x, you can find the value of y always by using the formula y is equal to mx plus c. So here, if I start substituting the value given as 2 here in my equation, my answer will be minus 1. Okay. And if I substitute 3 in my x values, then the answer will be 5. So my second value is 5. So my point will be at 5. Now I will start reflecting it on a line of symmetry and I will start making my smooth curve. And this is how I'm going to make my quadratic function graphing. I will graph my quadratic function on the graph. Now, if I have to find the y-intercept of the quadratic function, how is it going to work? This is my y-intercept. Always remember that y-axis is going to be my y-intercept if any time question is asking you. So y-intercept in the quadratic function can be found when x is equal to 0. All right. So here is the equation given, and this is how you can find the value of your y-intercept. So this is my point of intercept, which is minus 1. Okay. And it is always the constant term will be shown on the y-intercept. Now here's a question for you all to try. And try to write your comment in a comment box. Let's see how many of you can answer this question. And I hope this presentation has been informative and useful to you. And remember, practice makes perfect. And with enough practice, you too can become a master of quadratic functions and graphs. Okay, it is very important not only in maths but in physics as well. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you soon for the next topic in our revision booklet. Good luck.